Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something that I think many of you might be navigating, or maybe just thinking about navigating romantic relationships after 50.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
Mm.
And we've been looking at some really insightful material, specifically a great conversation Margaret Manning from 60 and Me had with Lisa Copeland. She's a love coach, a dating expert.
Right, and Lisa's whole thing is really about empowering women over 50, helping you feel genuinely lovable and find, those meaningful connections.
Exactly. And our goal today isn't just to list her advice. We want to dig deeper, really pull out those key actionable things, focusing actually on the pitfalls, the no-nos, if you will.
The things to avoid.
Yeah, things that can cause frustration. So this is kind of like your guide to sidestepping those common issues.
Okay, good plan. So where do we start? Maybe with something pretty fundamental. Unrealistic expectations. Lisa talks about this, right? Not just about potential partners, but about ourselves too, as we're in our 50s, 60s, 70s.
hmm She makes a really interesting point about the gap between maybe online images, the sort of generic grandpa look, and how people actually are at that age.
The disconnect.
Yeah, the vibrancy, the energy that doesn't always come across in a snapshot.
Yeah.
And it ties into how we see ourselves, too. There was that story about Margaret at her high school reunion.
Oh, right. She saw the photos online and thought, wow, everyone looks so much older. I don't feel like I look like that.
Exactly. But then she asked her son, point blank, do I look that old? And his response was, well, let's just say it wasn't a strong denial.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. A bit of a reality check.
It highlights that gap, doesn't it, between how we feel inside, our self-perception, and maybe the external reality.
And how that translates to dating. We might be holding on to slightly younger ideals for what a partner should look like or be like.
Precisely. So the real takeaway here is about honest self-assessment. Are your expectations for a partner's appearance kind of grounded in this life stage?
Mm.
And importantly, are you looking honestly at how you present yourself too?
It's about finding that balance, appreciating aging, but also, recognizing attractiveness evolves.
Exactly. It takes many forms.
Okay, so that's the internal landscape, the expectations. What about the where people look? Online dating comes up a lot.
Oh, definitely. And look, it can be wonderful. People find great relationships there.
But
But yeah, Lisa's advice is pretty strong on this. Don't make it your only strategy.
relying just on that one avenue.
It's limiting. Think about it. Online dating has its upsides, convenience for one, but also downsides. The sheer volume of profiles, the time it takes, sometimes people aren't quite who they seem.
It's a mixed bag for sure.
Totally. So Lisa really stresses having multiple ways to meet people and, importantly, focusing on real-life interactions.
In person.
Yeah. She even talks about teaching women how to, and this is her phrase, be the man of real life,
Meaning?
meaning relearning how to initiate, how to flirt a little, be approachable out in the world.
Okay. Taking a more active role.
Right. And this connects to some other advice, like in the 60 Me newsletter stuff. It's practical. Like, think about where you can find people who share your actual interests, your values. Go there. Don't just swipe.
Which brings us neatly to the next no-no, doesn't it? This idea that you can just sit back, maybe complain a bit that there's no one out there, and expect Mr. Right to just materialize.
Yes, the passive approach. That feeling of, oh, he'll show up when the time is right.
Mm.
And look, Lisa believes in attraction, positive energy, all that, but she's very clear.
You still have to take action.
You absolutely have to take action, create the opportunities for that right time to even happen.
It's not magic. It's like you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket.
Exactly that. And she also points out something subtle but important. Focusing on what's wrong, on the lack, on past disappointments.
It's that negativity.
It actually kind of blocks you from seeing possibilities that might be right there. It shapes your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shifting focus to what you want and what you can do.
Yes. And being open. Remember that little story about Margaret in the bookstore?
Yeah, chatting with the guy, looking at magazines, friendly, easy.
And then he mentions his wife.
Right. And the point wasn't failure, it was.
Resilience. Margaret's takeaway was, you need a bit of a thick skin. Not every chat leads to romance. Don't take it personally.
Just keep putting yourself out there, being friendly, without this huge expectation attached to every single interaction.
Exactly. That resilience is key. Don't let the non-starters stop you from starting again.
Okay, so that's passivity. Let's move to the fourth big no-no. This one feels potentially awkward, acting like you're already basically married after just one date.
Oh boy, yes. This one taps into that initial excitement maybe, that spark you feel.
And then what happens?
Well, Lisa points out this tendency to then expect, like, constant contact between date one and maybe date two,
Mm.
the texting back and forth immediately, instant email replies, lots of calls.
Projecting a whole relationship onto that very early stage.
Right. And she says, look, this is still exploratory. You're just getting to know each other, getting aggravated or feeling anxious because they don't text back in 5 minutes.
It can come across as needy or demanding.
Yeah, potentially. Understandably off-putting for someone who's also just testing the waters.
So what's the alternative then, if you are interested?
Lisa's advice here is pretty practical, actually. She suggests dating multiple people.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, concurrently. At least until you've both mutually decided, okay, we're exclusive now.
Ah, so it prevents you from hyper-focusing on one person's communication habits.
Exactly. Keeps perspective. Takes the pressure off that one fledgling connection.
That makes sense. She also mentioned something about the feeling of time pressure, maybe, as we get older.
Yeah, that ticking clock feeling. Whether it's biological echoes or just feeling like, the window of opportunity is smaller.
Which can fuel that urgency, maybe make people jump into things too fast.
It certainly can. But Lisa counters that beautifully with the story about her own mother.
The 90-year-old mother.
Yes. Who found love again multiple times, starting in her 70s, still having loving relationships.
Oh, okay, that's a powerful reminder.
Isn't it? It really drives home that desire for connection and the possibility of finding it truly doesn't have an age limit.
So it's less about rushing the connection you just made and more about proactively creating more opportunities for new connections.
Precisely. Redirecting that energy.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap those four main no-nos Lisa flagged for women dating over 50. First, those unrealistic expectations about men and about yourself.
Second, putting all your eggs in the online dating basket, relying solely on that.
Third, the passivity trap. Thinking someone will just appear without you taking action, maybe while complaining about it.
Right. And fourth, acting like you're in a serious relationship immediately after the first date. That premature intensity.
And overarching all of this is Lisa's core message, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about approaching dating, feeling confident, feeling worthy, feeling lovable. It shouldn't feel like a desperate chore.
Yeah, it should feel empowering, ideally. So we really hope you listening can take a moment, reflect on these points. Have you maybe seen these patterns in your own dating life? Maybe even caught yourself doing some of them?
No judgment here, just awareness. And if you want to dive deeper into Lisa Copeland's approach, she's got tons of resources. Her website is findaqualityman.com. Lots of info there, some free stuff too.
Definitely worth checking out if this resonates. So, as we wrap up, here's something to chew on, a final thought for you. Thinking about these common pitfalls we've discussed. Unrealistic expectations, online only, passivity, first date intensity. What's maybe one small shift you could make in your own approach to dating? Just one little adjustment. What small change might actually lead to the biggest positive difference in your experience?
Yeah, that's a good question to sit with.
Definitely something to consider. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.